Did you know that even high achieving professionals often struggle to balance success with inner peace? I think probably more than most high achieving professionals need you the most. Today's guest knows better than anyone. She went from building 2 law firms to guiding women and leaders into harmony, confidence, and transformation. I'm your host, Beverly Cornell. I'm the founder and fairy godmother of Brand Clarity here at Wickedly Branded. We've helped hundreds of overwhelmed, overachieving consultants, creatives, and coaches awaken their brand magic and boldly bring their marketing to life so that they feel more confident and attract their absolute favorite and most profitable clients. Today, I am joined by the inspiring Arlene Cohen Miller. She is the CEO of Jewel Consultancy. She is a work-life harmony and leadership coach, a transformational mentor, and a professional certified coach with the International Coaching Federation, and a former attorney. But she's also been featured on over 100 podcasts and is now expanding her mission into keynote speaking. Welcome, Arlene.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here.
I'm so excited about how you go from the lawyer to a transformational coach. I feel like that's just in juxtaposition of each other. Let's go back to the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey. What led you to start your business, and what did those early days look like for you?
First of all, I'm still an attorney. I just don't practice anymore. It took me too long to get that certification, so I still have it. My journey started as an attorney when I was 15, and I got this inspiration, and I told my mom and dad, I said, I'm going to be an attorney. And there weren't any attorneys in my family. I just felt like, this is what you're going to do. Make it happen. That was the beginning of it. I went to college, I went to law school, and after being out of law school for about 3.5 years, I'd worked primarily for a solo practitioner who was sharing office space with other people. I opened my own business. I had moved from Louisville, Kentucky, where I was born and raised, up to Cleveland, Ohio. I found a storefront office with 2 other attorneys, an employment agency, and a retired pastor that was a pastor, and had started his own collection business, not as its attorney, but just helping with people with packages to collect money if debts were due and owing to them. I started off as a divorce, child custody, visitation attorney, and also doing some collection work from the legal end. When I first started practicing, a month after, I found out, hey, you're pregnant. So all my tribe was in Kentucky, my family, my business contacts. So I had to build a new one. And when my son was 9, I sold my practice in Lakewood, Ohio, a western suburb of Cleveland, and moved to Longmont, Colorado, a suburb of Denver. I bought into a small firm as a partner, and they were doing only collection law because I had previously gotten totally burnt out with family law. It's a very difficult area of the law to be in on a day-to-day basis. People at their worst, all sorts of problems about ending a marriage with kids, a lot of them, and other problems in their family life. I decided it wasn't my cup of tea. I moved to Longmont, Colorado, which is a separate town, and was an attorney in that firm for years, a partner, and I loved it. About 9 years ago, we sold a practice, and that's when I opened Jewel Consultancy full-time basis, coaching and mentoring.
Sadly, I'm very familiar with the family attorney world. My husband was married before and has a child. We spent a lot of time in court. Plus, we also adopted from foster care. So we have some familiarity with the world with which you come from and how high stress and emotional it can be. I can imagine being in that world on a regular basis. That was definitely part of my messy middle, was some of that stuff. Even as the foster care system, the stories, I mean, it's heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. I imagine that has informed you as a coach, like your empathy and compassion, because you understand the heart of it all.
I was appointed by the court at a certain point to represent children in divorces where one or both parents had drug or alcohol problems or had problems with not being fit. I didn't have a diploma in transformational counseling at that point. I didn't have the coaching. I was young. I graduated from law school at 25, so I was 29. It was a rude awakening, that kind of stuff where are your priorities? The priorities need to be the children, because the rule of law is what is in the best interest of these children. It was difficult.
The foster care system is really designed for reunification. So they're trying to get them back to their homes. It's just heartbreaking, some of the stories you hear. There's a lot of tragedy with children and parents just not doing the right thing. And sadly, I cannot imagine working in that space. How do you leave that at work? I don't think it would stay there for me. It would be very hard.
I have the skills or abilities I have now. And I decided to go just into the collection law business, which was about helping businesses collect their debts, which was fun. And sometimes you could work things out, or sometimes you just have to go after their assets. When I did stop, I must have gotten more requests to do anything to do with family law than I had like in the past year. Some people say that's a universe saying that you should do it. I'm like, no, this is the universe saying, are you sure? And I sent it to other attorneys, and it's the best thing that I did for myself.
I think that's powerful because I said yes to a lot of things in my business that didn't serve me well initially. And I learned the power of no and boundaries. It is scary at first to say no, but once you know, you're very empowered and it's liberating to say no. So that process for you was no, I really don't want to do this. That only affirmed what you were believing in yourself and what was better for you to get you on this path. As you started this new business, attorneys exist as their own business. How is it different stepping out as a coach? And how did you build your brand as a coach? How was that transformation?
What I've done is I've integrated the law and coaching. A lot of what I do with that serenity and calm assurance and helping people to work from the inside out. I've been on a spiritual path for a very long time since my son was about 3 when I got divorced. He's developed some ADHD. I went on this journey to help him heal, and a lot of that informed the coaching practice and the mentoring that I do. Also, I love teaching and facilitating people to how to negotiate when you're really listening to other people and integrating the masculine and the feminine in a way that is not one side or the other. I found a way to bring all of my learning, all of my experience as an attorney into coaching, standing on my shoulders when it comes to creating that more serenity and transformation in your life. Coaching's more about you're the expert, and I'm walking alongside of you on how to build that serenity and peace in your life. My experiences as an attorney and my education as an attorney and a coach and a mentor, I've just brought it all forward to be a part of what I bring. So I don't believe in cutting off something.
So, how did you build your brand from that? Talk about how you developed your brand when you were first starting.
My brand name, do feel like it's a download as well, because it feels like the jewel and the diamond is there's all different sides of it, and they all are part of the whole. The coaching, the mentoring, the facilitating, the workshops all come together. The name Jewel Consultancy, and I'm like, okay, that's my name, but just went with what felt right.
I think it's a work in progress because just like coaching, it's an ongoing development of the work. Marketing's never really done either. You are evolving as an entrepreneur all the time. So it should never really be done. It should be a work in progress all the time. Talk about your niche. What kind of transformation do you give them? And give me a story that you really connected to, that you saw the transformation and saw the result.
Work with professional executive women, but I also go into law firms where it's not just women. When I'm doing how to negotiate from the heart with executive presence, I also work with tech companies as well. It's not going to be just women. I do have spaces where it's just professional and executive women because I feel like I understand them. I got pregnant a month after I opened my first law firm. So the first year I got bigger and bigger. And then I had to figure out a way to run a business and be a mother. And that's another reason that I joined the Colorado Women's Bar Association. I'm the only grandmother there, but I do bring some wisdom to the situation that there is a way to make it all work out and stop being so hard on ourselves. I had so many amazing clients. One story that I really love is that I had a really high-end working mother. She wasn't at the top of the tier. She had to answer to some people, and she found herself reverting to old patterns and programs from childhood, being a little bit of a doormat and saying yes to everything, people pleaser, and never saying no. And then she would go home to her teenage daughters, and she would be a little bit bombastic. She was swinging from one place to the other, and neither one was healthy for her. She didn't see how her behavior was affecting her daughters or how being that subservient. And in the end, she just became more confident and self-assured and willing to say, look, my plate is full. I'm happy to be the go-to person, but we need to find someone else to take this specific thing. Not saying no in a way that is, I just don't want to do that, is finding a way to delegate more to other people and her to supervise and give that responsibility for people that were behind her in the company that could handle it just as well. She wasn't a bad mother, but there was a certain element of holding on to control. It was just really a pleasure to watch herself. It was like a flower blooming.
So many of us that are high performing overachievers, like myself, the sense of control or the sense of people pleasing, all those things resonate deeply in my world. I have a coach and I also have a therapist, and I want to work through all the problems. Like, I want to have really good goals for work and develop myself as a leader.
Check back in as coaches, but that doesn't mean people always do what they say they're going to do. It is an interesting thing to be a coach, and there's a lot of different realms to it. So I wasn't saying that I wasn't trying to hold my clients accountable, but they have to want to be held accountable. And it's also best, from my perspective, if they find a person, a group, or something that they put into place for them, so I'm not their accountability buddy.
What comes to mind when you're talking is the iceberg, right? There's like the 10% above and there's the 90% below. And we might think it's this, but really it's 10 layers deeper. So there might be all kinds of things that are happening underneath, which I think coaches and therapists are great to help you dig in and get to the root of some of the issues if you're willing to do the work. You cannot pull anybody across the finish line.
It is very rewarding. As we learn and grow as coaches, we learn how to encourage that out from the clients. Is a great way to help clients to go deeper.
What practices have you used at shifts for you that helped you embody the exact transformation that you offer in your business?
Tremendously. I found a group about 22 years ago that I just loved, and it's like a mentoring group. It taught me all kinds of things that I can share with the people I work with, turning your inner critic into an inner coach, how to have clear, strong, and appropriate boundaries, and just not physically, but energetically, how to have more peace and serenity in your life and get yourself out of that fight or flight mode into that rest and relax mode, how to really work with gratitude, because gratitude is really the key to all manifestation. I really feel that it's important to heal from the inside out. If we really get something on a feeling level, then we've got it. No one can take it away from us. Practice makes permanent, as you were just sharing. What you were also talking about is that we have patterns and programs that we've taken on from when we were younger. And behind all those patterns and programs, we wanted safety and security to protect ourselves. If those patterns and programs are coming up to keep us under this glass ceiling, there might be a tremendous amount of trauma and fear that we need to feel and let go of, and then bring in more love, light, and gratitude into that new space. And it is helpful to have someone to walk alongside of you.
Very scary. I have quite a bit of trauma from my youth, and it has certainly informed my high performance stuff, the perfectionism, the people pleasing. To me, I was like, I know this is not what my life should look like. And the one thing that I realized was when I was alone before I got married and had kids, I had done some work and I was in a really great place and I was feeling very balanced. I got married and all of a sudden you have children who are also a mirror to some of your stuff. That I feel so many of my clients, so many women specifically, the container with which we live in has been built by men, and it's like more aggressive. I think a lot of you said the masculinity and the femininity is more aggressive style of business versus and like very structured 9 to 5. I've been saying this a lot lately, Arlene, is that I need a wife to support me the way I've supported my husband. If I had that, how much further I would be. The container with which society is created for us invariably causes us to have new challenges in this generation. When you go up against society and you go up against patriarchy, it's not little, it's a lot. And we have to be fortified to be able to do that. I love that coaching helps fortify you in a way to be able to show up like that.
I feel like I was born angry. I used to wear these very feminist t-shirts, and I've come to a place now that my vision is men and women walking hand in hand as equals. Some of the masculine qualities have been really emphasized with the men by their people that were a few steps ahead of them. But I love starting with women because we can be coming from an empowered place, but using all of our relationship skills, all of our strengths to help move things forward and not try. I had just let all that anger, let all that frustration go. And it was really difficult for me as a young attorney because there was a lot of that bombastic stuff from the male attorneys. If I bring kindness and patience and understanding and tolerance on both ends, because both sides are hurting. It is easier for men in certain things to move up the ladder. As women, we also have other priorities. I think we need to honor those priorities and not denigrate ourselves or beat ourselves up for who we are, and not do it to men either. How we bring ourselves to the table with it and not buy into it or take it personally makes a huge difference.
That's a great reframe, just redefining what it means to be a woman. We've all done the best that we could in the scenario
Oh, yeah.
we've been in, right? And so what society has created for us, it's about giving ourselves permission to be more authentic to what feels good for us and not feel like carrying a should suitcase, to put the should suitcase down and just what feels more in alignment for you. And it may not be what has been created in the past. Think of what actually work-life balance, hustle culture, I feel is very dangerous. I feel like my work should be in balance with my life. And so I really try to construct my work to create more balance in my life. And because I'm an entrepreneur, I have that ability to do that. Not everyone has that ability.
I focus on harmony because I started off with work-life balance because that's what everyone used, but it feels like the scales of justice and we're never in balance. We just need to be flexible and adaptive,
Yes.
especially as women with what's going on in our life in the moment. If you have younger kids versus a kid that's at college,
Yeah.
it's a totally different scenario of how you can use your time. And so the flexibility and adaptability, and I guess the point of sharing that is that women tend to carry a lot of guilt and shame and stress for what they're doing and how they're living their life. And so when we dissipate all of that and we honor ourselves for who we are and where we're at, not try to be like someone else and bring our best gifts forward and not take things personally, just to bring that down and to do it in a different way, introduce ourselves and just be ourselves and not step into somebody else's mold of who they think we should be or how they think we are.
I love this so much. Not step into anyone else's mold. We don't have to do what anybody else is doing, for sure. So for my listeners, if that is connecting with you, like you don't have to do it any other way but the way that feels good for you. Like nobody else's mold has to be the thing you do it in. I would love for you to let me know in the review, like that really connected, because it helps me understand the things that you really are struggling with and what really is connecting for you and what you're connecting with and what you're dealing with. I'm going to shake things up a little bit. We're going to go into our rapid fire round. All kinds of questions in here. The first is, what's been your biggest aha moment as an entrepreneur?
My biggest aha moment was when I decided not to be a divorce attorney. Lots of people say you can't change what you're doing in the law. It's too hard, blah, blah. I'm still a young person. I can drop this and go into this other business, which I do know something about. I just need to expand it. And so that other people can say that we can't be open to new possibilities. That's their prison they put themselves in. I don't have to do that.
Yes. What's something in your business that brings you pure joy?
Coming together in groups with professional and other executive women who are out there, business owners, when we support each other, when we vision together. I really do love that coming together, like-minded souls, doing things together to lift each other up.
I feel the exact same way, Arlene. What is one marketing trend that needs to die already?
I do get really tired of the marketing trends where you see all these different commercials. The energy feels really bombastic. It feels like it's not the truth. It would be really lovely if the people that were doing were really offering something that was worthwhile that could help everybody, because I feel we have to be really careful out there.
I feel the same way on that. What are the 3 most important ingredients for your recipe for success?
Gratitude, patience, and the willingness to just take risks.
This kind of goes with that question. What is one fear you have had to overcome to grow your business?
My first year in practice, I didn't know what I was doing. There was a couple of other attorneys that had been in business for a while, and they told me how much money they made. And I literally didn't have any clients. So that was a big fear when I first opened my solo practice when I was 29. How am I going to make money? How am I going to survive? But I think that's pretty common with anyone who starts something new. It was like, oh my God, what have I done?
How did you overcome it?
It was interesting. I was pregnant, so I had a kind of 9 months before my son was born. So I just worked as hard as I could. I started getting clients and I started breathing and I started acknowledging that I wasn't alone. I was married. I had a roof over my head and food on my plate. I wasn't going to go anywhere. I was going to make enough money to at least cover my expenses and more. And I had ridiculous expectations, which are probably judgments on myself. As I was a pregnant professional woman, my first year opening my business, I was going to breathe, take a step back and do the best that I can do with what I had.
Yes, I love that so much. The best that you can and breathe. All those things are so important. I feel the same way. Like, thankfully, my husband could support us. I did have some room to breathe, which was a gift that my husband's career gave me in that process. What was the moment you realized your business was successful?
When I left domestic relations law, I went into commercial law and I went up to a meeting in Chicago. Everything blossomed from there. I was traveling around the country, going to all these meetings and meeting people and getting all this business. And I just felt, wow, this feels like success. Not only are these people becoming my family because I see them in all these meetings, but I'm sending them business. They're sending me business. And that feels like a success because we're helping businesses collect their debts and be paid for their services and products.
You going to these events and showing up and making these relationships has been kind of part of your secret to success in some ways. How do you show up and consistently keep your energy for you too?
Well, I have a daily yoga practice. I also have a daily meditation practice and a gratitude practice. So I do things to help myself stay balanced and healed. I'm lucky that I have a son and 2 stepkids and 3 grandkids all close by. So it helps to have that kind of love and support. I've always taken the action of taking care of myself, and I got a lot of flack for it. I always found ways to have an outlet for stress. Otherwise, it would sort of build up in my body. I always stayed on more of like a high protein diet so that I don't have a lot of the things people my age have, which is arthritis and digestive issues. There's a lot of joy. It's not like it's hard to do. There's joy going to my yoga community. I don't care if I'm the second oldest person in the school. There's joy in getting out in nature in Colorado. There's joy in being with the family. So my way doesn't have to be your way. I'm talking to everyone who's watching this. Whatever lights your heart up and makes you sing and helps you to drop stress, anxiety, overwhelm, it's important to integrate that into your life.
Yes. So kind of speaking of sustainability and like in that kind of frame, has there been something that you've let go of or delegated that made your business feel more sustainable in that?
There's some sort of coaching session that I was on is what are the things you really hope to do? And so I am more and more delegating because in the law, I always had people working for me, going out and coaching and changing exactly what I'm doing and coming into new phases. But I find people that can help me do the things that I really hate to do so that I can focus on what really makes my heart sing.
More joy, more of the things. We call them the drivers and the drainers. What drives your passion and what drains your soul? What are those things? And how do you either automate them, systemize them, offload them, or delegate them to a vendor, or even just get rid of them? Do you really need to do that thing that you're stressing out about? Is it close enough to the money to make you have to do it? Because I will just get in the habit of doing these things that drive them crazy for whatever reason. I don't know why we do that to ourselves, but we do it. Okay, the next session includes my magic wand. It helps us travel back in time and forward in time. When I wave my wand, we're going to go back to 18-year-old Arlene. And we're going to ask her, what is one piece of advice that you would give her that you wish she had known, but you know now?
I had urgency. I had a lot more urgency about making good grades and being able to get into law school. I also had urgency about being in a relationship. I would have said, look, yes, you want to do your best in school so that you can get in law school, but it doesn't have to encompass your whole life. And maybe you need to step back and breathe and travel and do some fun things in there that you have an opportunity to experience more of life and not rush into anything when it comes to relationships.
That's really good advice. What would Arlene say about you today? What would she say about you? How you've evolved, where you're at now?
It's like, how did you get so old? No. I remember looking at my step-grandmother died when I was 54, and my grandfather, my father's father, remarried right away. And I remember her saying something to me, when you get older, and I was like 10 at the time, and what came out of my mouth that shouldn't have was like, I am never going to be that old. Well, there you go. What would she say about me? I guess she would say that thank you for being such an avid learner. I'm always learning and growing. I really love it. Not everything. Don't make me learn mechanics of how to work a car or something like that, or how to do taxes. I don't like working with, that's not my forte. It's really cool, all the things that you're into and that you studied, that you grew with, and that, I don't know, that you're not afraid to be your own person. I think she was really afraid to be your own person and let people see her. She wanted to be perceived a certain way. Maybe she'd say that to me. I don't know. I have no idea. But
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to wave my wand and we're going to go into the future, far into the future, and we're going to be at your eulogy. What are people going to say about Arlene and the impact you've made in the world?
I would just hope that people would say that she just was there and was kind. And she listened when nobody else would listen. And she didn't try to tell me what to do or how to be. She just really helped me to be okay with being who I was.
It's a great legacy. That's what thing we all should strive for is just to be who you are in this world, right? And maybe bring some more kindness to it, which would be nice, especially right now. I feel like we could all use some more kindness.
Yeah.
So good. Okay, so I'm gonna wave my blend and we're coming back to the present time. And the real question, the magical tip I would like for you to share today is, what does being wickedly branded mean to you? How do you specifically show up as wickedly branded? And what's some advice for our listeners to be more wickedly branded?
Well, wickedly branded feels like it has that magic fairy dust. It's not evil. It's like, whoa, baby, look at this. I think we can all do that in our own unique way. Some people are much more, I call myself a closet introvert. I can go out there and do all that stuff with the world, but I really like my privacy and quiet time too. So I really feel that whatever our brand is, whatever our wickedly branded brand is, that it has to be from the heart, something that really resonates with us so that we can like look at our website, love that branding, and then that sort of goes out into the world.
What is a tip for people for our listeners to be more wickedly branded in the coaching world? What is a tip that kind of relates to that? How can they show up more wickedly branded?
I think just giving ourselves permission to be who we are. We'll bring in that kindness, patience, and tolerance when we're dealing with ourselves and others. But it's okay to step out and be who we uniquely are. We don't necessarily have to say it to the world, but instead of being all contracted, we hold like a big judgment speak, free space of gratitude or love or whatever sacred quality you want, and just be okay to take up that space and be ourselves.
Yes, yes. Listen to Arlene. She's so right. Take up that space. Truly you. We spend so much time, I think, worried about what others think of us. I learned a phrase a long time ago that some will, some won't. So what? Like some will totally get it and love you and some won't. And it's okay. So what? Move on and only spend your energy on the people who are connecting to you. That's okay. You don't have to be there for everyone. So great advice to be wickedly branded, Arlene. Where can our listeners learn more about you? What you have coming? I know you got a couple of things in the works. I connect with you.
Right. Well, my website is jewelconsultancy.com. And Arlene Cohen Miller, you can find me anywhere on the internet because I think I'm the only one. And what's coming is that I'm going to be, after the first of the year, I think I'm going to do something in December as well. I'm going to bring together a tribe of women who are interested in letting go of stress, anxiety, overwhelm, and stepping into more serenity and peace. Be like a mastermind support. Here we are for each other. Here's what we can do to do that, where I bring all the skills and abilities from all the years I have to everybody. So that's going to be coming out. I'll probably be putting it out. I'm doing videos now to help support that, just to bring information out there if you're on LinkedIn or Instagram or X. And if you're interested, get in touch with me. Otherwise, just look out for those videos and it will be coming after the first of the year.
Oh, thank you so much, Arlene, for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
To my listeners, this has been such a good conversation to remind us to be more in gratitude, to be more calm, to be more accepting of ourselves, and that maybe you need a little help in doing some of that stuff. So I hope that today's episode has lit a little bit of a fire underneath you, gave you some new ideas, maybe just inspired you to take some small action forward. Because here's what's so important. Your message matters, your work matters, and the world needs you. We want to hear what you have to say and how you want to impact the world. So marketing isn't just about visibility. It's about impact. It's about connecting with the right people. It's about connecting in a way that feels so much truer to you and in alignment to you. So please keep showing up as you, keep sharing your brilliance and keep making magic in the world. And hey, if you ever feel stuck, know that you don't have to do it alone. Arlene and I are here to help you turn that spark into a wildfire for yourself and for your business. And until next time, dare to be wickedly branded. Wow, what an incredible conversation we just had. I hope that this episode lit a little bit of a fire under you to finally bring your brand to life in a way that feels true to you. Remember, clarity is the spark, but activation is that fire and flame that keeps your message and your visuals and your strategy aligned, and the confidence that follows. So does that lovely thing called momentum that you've been waiting for. So if today's episode, if you loved it, make sure you are subscribed to the Wickedly Branded Marketing Podcast so you never miss an insight or a conversation. Until next time, dare to be wickedly branded.